very charitable. Canadians are here, as I said. We've got people from Asia, we've got beautiful Asian people, we've got Japanese, we've got Chinese. I don't quite understand only Japanese music. I was unfortunate enough to go to a Japanese opera a couple of weeks ago in Tokyo. Fucking thing took all night. Never done anything like it. Come on. They had a smoking handbag there like they use in the Catholic Church. I put some fucking ketamine in it. It was fantastic. And speaking of Catholic churches, I just want to make it clear to everybody in the audience, because I know there'll be Christians in here tonight, and I know that there'll be Catholics in here tonight, and people from all denominations represented. There are actually 17 Muslims on board. Run! No, so I want everybody to feel, and I want you to know that I do have religion in me. I was in the confession box for 3 hours on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, and I couldn't get his cock through the holes. It was incredible. I just couldn't. I mean, seriously, I want everybody to just feel relaxed and chilled out, and I know that, occasionally as I say something that comes out of my mouth is disgusting, but if you think what comes out is obscene, you should see what goes in on the top deck later on, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been asked to point out about the top deck. There is a problem with the lighting up there after midnight. Please be careful, because we've had wind and rain today, haven't we? We've had a little bit of a cyclone today. And if that happened again during the night when this vessel is moving at, say, 14 knots, and you're up there in the pitch black, hang on to something solid. Because you could end up getting blown off, couldn't you? You could. And I can't think of anything worse, can you? I have a feeling some of you might appreciate it more than others, actually. But whatever you do, make sure you stay nice and safe. And of course, it is incumbent upon me to point out that the vessel is completely drug-free.
Bravo!
As of when I leave and get off in San Juan. But no, there are people who like to take narcotics. I don't do it myself. I'm not interested. I couldn't snort it if I tried, ladies and gentlemen. My days of snorting drugs never got off the ground. But there are people in here tonight who've taken narcotics. We may not be able to notice them now, but there's an easy way to find out.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Look at them! Don't do it! Please! If you take drugs and get wasted, you know what'll happen. You'll meet the man you'll marry, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what they say? A dog is for life, not just for Christmas, let me tell you. And your judgment is flawed. If you want to get high, don't take cocaine or ecstasy or anything crap like that. Do what I do. Pop a couple of Steridant up your snatch, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wonderful. They start effervescing and fizzing. People think you're dancing, you just can't sit down. It's amazing. You've got this froth forming down there. It looks beautiful, tastes good. And if you cop on with someone over 70, and on this cruise it's highly likely that you will, when you finish you can pop the teeth in and get those clean tooth cruncher, ladies and gentlemen. Of course you don't have to, it's up to you. Now, as I said, some of the show might be tasteful, some of it might not be, but I do want you to know that the show is about the voices of people who I consider to be friends. Not because I've met most of them, but because they kept me company through a lonely childhood in the United Kingdom. I lived in isolation. My mother used to take me down on the beach to play with the shells. We were on holiday in Vietnam at the time, it was terrible. And so, you know, when your parents dislike you that much, you learn to find solace in the company of other people. And ladies and gentlemen, a very dear friend of mine died almost 50 years ago tonight. She perished in a terrible plane crash which ended her life and then her career. And she hit a mountain at 500 miles an hour as her arsehole went through her face. I'll never forget the last words my dear friend Patsy Cline said to me, ladies and gentlemen. She said, "Isn't there another parachute?" And I said, "Fuck you," and jumped under. But she's gone but not forgotten, ladies and gentlemen. I ask you now, in tribute, to welcome to the stage the one and only Miss Patsy Cline. Brace yourselves. Crazy, I'm crazy for a feeling so big. I suppose you always reach out to people you consider might love you. And when you're a child, you suspect that anyone will love you if you're sweet enough. The problem is I was a particularly naughty child. This filthy disposition didn't just appear before the crew started, for fuck's sake. I've had a mind like a sewer since I can't remember when, and yet, miraculously, one night my daddy looked down and said to me, "One day, you'll please large groups of people with that throat." I couldn't answer him at the time, but I was eating. Shut up, don't be so disgusting, for Christ's sake. But I used to come home from school, I'd lock myself in my room, and I'd try and escape into a world of fantasy, and that fantasy was provided by the best singers ever. Would you do me a big favour and welcome to the stage my dear friend Mr. Brian Nash, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. For a porn actor, ladies and gentlemen, how about it? You notice that I'm saying ladies and gentlemen, you notice that, don't you? I know it's a predominantly male audience, but firstly, we do have 22 lesbians on this cruise, ladies and gentlemen, indeed. And no, they're not here for security. And aside from the presence of the lesbians, I'm saying ladies and gentlemen because you all have your roles to play when you get back to your cabin, don't you? We did a little bit of market research before you all came on board. There are 3,000 people on this boat, ladies and gentlemen, and out of those 3,000, only 28 are tops. And 22 of those are lesbians. You're going to be very fucking busy, I can tell you that now. All you bottoms will have to sleep with each other and pretend it was satisfying. Or put things like verse when you're on Grindr, but beware, predictive text. When someone says you top or bottom, make sure you check before you send it, because verse so easily becomes Vera. Oh yeah, you don't want that. Hey, are you top or bottom? Vera. Block. So look, you know, this is the whole point of me being here tonight. It's about journeys and relationships and love. And I fell in love when I came home from school one day and listened to this wonderful song. I took downstairs and said to my mom, "Who is this?" And she said, "It's Barbara Streisand and Neil Diamond." Here we go.
You hardly talk to me anymore when I come through the door at the end of the day.
I remember when you couldn't wait to love me. You used to hate to leave me. Now I'm gonna love me late at night.
Well, it's good for you, baby, and you're feeling alright.
Well, you just roll over and turn out the light. You don't bring me flowers anymore.
Used to be so natural to talk about forever. Used to be don't count anymore. They just lay on the floor till we sweep them away.
And baby, I remember all the things you taught me.
I learned how to laugh and I learned how to cry.
Oh yes, I learned how to love. I even learned how to lie.
So you think I could learn how to tell you goodbye? You don't say you need me. You don't say